Alright, we had a couple of exhausting projects, so this time we will take it easy and the project will be very simple and short. We are going to take the data visualization project. As you can see, this is the exact same project that we did in the data visualization section of the course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add conditional properties to that project, so the color of the graphs in our project will be dependent on some values. So in some cases we will get a green line here, in another case we will get a red line, in a third case we will get a yellow line. So how is that going to happen? First we need to compare our randomly created values that we have here with the baselines. We're going to try to see how close we are to the perfect values. The way that we are going to do this is we're going to take the average of the values for the given nutrient, and we're going to compare it for the average of the baseline. And we're going to do this the following way. So we are going to check the carbs, for example. We're going to take the average. We are using the mean function when we want to take the average of something. So mean nutrients for 2 weeks, and we're going to take the first row of the nutrients and we're going to subtract the mean of the carbs baseline. Now when we do this, let's run it. So when we do this, as you can see here, we get some number. That number can be either negative, it can be a 0, or it can be a positive number. If it's a negative number, that means that we are below our baseline, so we are below our maximum safe values or recommended values. So whenever we have a negative number, that's good. If we get a positive number, that's bad, because that means that the average of our nutrients is above the baseline. So as you can see, now we got a 3 point something. It doesn't matter what the number is, we're only interested if that number is less than 0, equal to 0, or more than 0. So how can we use this? We're going to create an if-else-if conditions, and we're going to compare this same number. So we're going to say if check carbs is less than 0, we want to set the data lines of 1. If we remember, here we created data lines vector where we have the handles for all of the nutrient lines, the lines that have some data. And we're going to set its color to green. Now, and if we run this now, and if we get a negative number, as you can see, currently no changes, but if we get a negative number, now our line is in green. If we add a couple of else ifs now, so else if check carbs is 0, we're going to set it to yellow, so data lines of 1, color and yellow, and else if check carbs is more than 0, we're going to set the color to red, so data lines of 1, color red, like that. Let's run it. Negative number green, positive number. Now you can see that our line is in red, so we have a conditional color for that line. Now I'm going to change this a bit, and I'm going to make this change the colors of all lines. To do this, we must compare all of the lines with their baselines, and let's first do this. So check proteins. We have mean of the proteins, which are nutrients for 2 weeks, the second row, and we must subtract the mean of the protein baseline, and we have to do the same thing for the fat and for the calories. So I'm just going to copy and paste it. 3, 4, this is fat baseline, and this is calories baseline, like that. Now we must change our conditions. We must include all of these comparisons to our conditions. This is check fat, and this is check calories, fats. So we must change the condition. The condition must include all of these. So the condition will become check the carbs if the carbs are less than 0, and check proteins if they are also less than 0, and check fats if they are also less than 0, and check calories if they are less than 0. Don't forget about the brackets. Now, if you don't use brackets here, this will not work as expected. Believe me, I have tried. So, and we want one giant couple of brackets. So, if we run this now, and if all of the values, so here we are saying and, only and. So, if this is true, we get a 1. If this is also true, we get a 1. And the and that we have here will produce a 1. Here we do the same thing, 1, 1, and we add this, and we get a 1. And then we compare these results. I really can't draw this and symbol, so something like this, and we will also get a 1. So we will get a final true result only if all of these comparisons return a true result. So let's try and see if we can hit all negative numbers. So this is a no, not again. Oh, there we have it. So as you can see here, all of our checks, the check carbs, check proteins, fats, and calories are negative numbers, and our line is now in a green color. The rest are not in green colors because I forgot to add their own sets. So here we must add set data. Actually, instead of adding the rest of the data lines, we can simply use the data lines as a vector, just the whole data lines. So if we try again, let's try again, there we have it. So we get all negative numbers and all of these lines changed to green. Now, similarly, we can create the same comparisons for the equal to 0 and for the more than 0, so that we're working again on all of these lines. So first I'm going to extract this condition. So this is less than 0, equal to that. This is our condition for less than 0. And we're going to use it in the if. We're extracting it and making it more readable. We're going to do the same thing for the 0, equal to 0. We're going to check carbs if they are equal to 0. And so we're going to do the exact same thing. The only thing that we're changing is the sign here. So I'm just going to copy and paste. So this now becomes equal, and this is the same. And we also want to check more than 0. And let's copy and paste it again. Let's copy the above one. So copy, paste, and change the sign. Like that. And this one. And this one. Alright, so we have all of our three conditions. Now I'm going to use all of them, equal to 0 and more than 0. Now, we must also use the data lines vector with handles here. And let's try it. We will rarely ever going to get into the equal to 0 because I have never seen these values to be all of them equal to 0 at the same time. But here, as you can see, we got all positive values and all of the lines are now in red color. Now, again, how exactly does this work? First, all of these conditions are being evaluated right before our if and else if conditional statements. Again, if you want to extract your conditions, they must be extracted right before your conditional statements. If you extract these conditions up here, they will not work correctly. After that, when we reach the first condition that is true, its code will be executed. So if less than 0, so if this condition is true, this will be false by default. They can't be true either. So only one of these three conditions can be true. Whenever we hit a true condition, its code will be executed.